What up, though? Ghost University. I have a few videos that I'm going to upload within the next couple days. One of them will be the final episode of Nietzsche and Superman. I may have mentioned in one of my previous videos that for whatever reason, I believe I used too much of the final episode of Smallville in my video, and they made it so I couldn't use it. They, meaning YouTube, um, or whatever it was. But for numerous reasons, I wasn't able to upload it. Um, I used some things from Smallville. I used some things from a video called The Replacement Gods, and they just wouldn't let me upload it. And moving on from there, I'll do something about Satan and the Force, and that'll involve Kobe Bryant. People might be upset, but I think I can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Kobe used witchcraft in his ascension in basketball. And I believe he didn't want to play basketball to get money, but he wanted basketball for fame. Two more. One of them will be, what did I say? The Force and Satan. That will involve Kobe. I have a longer video about foundations, their power and influence. And then I'll have another video dealing with, what's the last one? Oh, The Hero with 1,000 Faces. And they'll all be nuanced together, so we can see that things often coincide. You just have to know what you're looking at, okay? Because the Force and Ecroft are the same. They're just backwards. But I'll show you guys what I'm talking about in my video coming up about the Force and Satan. Okay? So here we go. All right. So this comes from a book from Albert Pike, and he is a high-ranking level of Freemason that used to have his own statue across from the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. And recently they tore it down. But some people also want to credit him with building the KKK. But either way, he was someone who was into Masonry, and this is what he wrote in one of his books. And he said, the true name of Satan, the Kabbalists say, is that of Yahweh reversed. For Satan is not a black god, but the negation of God. The devil is a personification of atheism or idolatry. For the initiates, this is not a person, meaning the initiates into Masonry. It's not a person, but a force created for good, but which may serve for evil. It is the instrument of liberty or free will. They represent this force which presides over the physical generation under the mythologic and horned form of the god Pan. Thence came the he-goat of the Sabbath, brother of the ancient serpent, and the light bearer or phosphor, of which the poets have made the false Lucifer of the legend. Now, we'll take a minute and we'll go back and we're going to break that paragraph down. There was so much said there that is pathetic, but I'm going to take it and tie it into the force of Star Wars and another force that Kobe Bryant spoke of. What we want to look at right here is that in the occult, people oftentimes look at things in reverse. The great occultist Aleister Crowley said, "You not only want to learn to speak backwards, but you also want to learn how to walk backwards or look at things in reverse." And putting a different twist on it, Michael Jackson, he learned to moonwalk, but the moonwalk was ultimately walking in reverse. And the first time he really pulled that move out at the Grammys or at the American Music Awards, if you really look at it, that brother is really almost running in reverse. Watch his feet, and y'all tell me. I may put it in at the end of the video of Michael Jackson moonwalking for the first time at that performance that he had. It's really something else to behold. But Aleister Crowley said, learn to walk in reverse, talk in reverse, uh, speak in reverse, just do a lot of things backwards. All right. So there's the thing about seeing things in reverse, how Satanists believe that Yahweh, well, my bad, the Kabbalists believe that Yahweh in reverse was for Satan. And so what I want to bring also into note here is that in Star Wars, the Force was good and evil. It only depended upon who was using the Force, what the Force meant. All right? Like, go back and watch those old Star Wars movies. They'll tell you, you know, Luke, if Luke is in control of the Force, it's for the good side. Hey, if Darth Vader's doing it, it's for the bad. But the problem in movies is there's no Lord, as in there's no God of the scriptures to dictate to these people ultimately what good and bad is. And really, if there was, then they wouldn't be participating in these things because they would understand that the Force is witchcraft. And that's why they also are telling you here that that the reference to the devil is the Force. It says the devil is the personification of atheism or idolatry. Okay? And then again, it follows it up with, it makes it sound like the devil gave people liberty, but God did that. God gave people the liberty to do as they wanted to. It was their free will. And that's why when they took of the tree, they did that of their own free will. But they were indeed talked into that by Satan. And so just the very idea that the Force, created for good, but which may serve evil, is the most important part of this paragraph. And it says it is the instrument of liberty or free will. The Force does that. And so, in closing, we have to understand that the Force is witchcraft. That's what it means. The Force is the devil. It's witchcraft. Because in witchcraft, there is a light side, right? There's white magic and there's black magic. It just depends upon who's using it, which is bizarre to take into your mind when you start thinking about the Force and what it means. But it really is witchcraft. And so I'm going to move on to talking about Kobe Bryant and what he said the Force was. As we can see, the name of Kobe's is called Ipaka, the tree of Ekroth. So, like I said earlier, there was a occultist named Aleister Crowley who believed at times you should spell things backwards and or forwards. But in the light of what we're looking at here, we're going to take Ekroth, which says Ecrof, and if you spelled it backwards, it says Force, which is the tree of force, like the force, right? The tree of the force is what this book was titled. And that's why I'm saying to you guys that he knew exactly what he was dealing with. And I'm going to show some news clips where he talks about the hero's journey, which lets me know like he's aware of the hero with 1,000 faces, and he's also aware of Greek hero culture. And in one of the clips, he'll talk about how he wanted to move from being Luke Skywalker to Obi-Wan Kenobi. The problem with that is that Obi-Wan sacrificed himself so Luke could be better, which is what I believe Kobe did in real life, is that he took himself out. Yeah, I know it's a stretch, but I think Kobe believed in things like as above, so below, like the picture of the tree that he's showing us all on the cover of the book, where there's a tree up top and there's a tree on the bottom. That is, in essence, when things mirror the opposite thing of them, it means as above, so below. And I also believe that those tiny little, those arms that stretch out going to the tree down below, and then there's another little path that stretches up top. So the path that stretches down below and the tree that stretches up top really represents the whole as above, so below theme that the Baphomet poses in. But I'll let this go. And remember, I'm really talking about the force being witchcraft. And I'm also speaking about duality. Duality was mentioned in my other video about Superman. Duality means opposites, and that's why the trees are opposite of each other, because they're trying to show duality and equality between these things. But it's like, well, you know, where exactly does the theme of equality come from? Like, what type of dualness, or as I should say, things being the same, are we looking for? Because technically, one tree looks full of life, and the other tree is kind of dead. But I'm gonna let this go because I've talked enough, and I said I would keep my videos about certain things a little shorter. The force, Ecrof, Ecrof, is force backwards. Okay? So let's move on to bigger and better things. All right? Ghost University. I was going to break these last two videos up, but I'm not going to break them up. But I will bring up the points that I thought are valid, or at least the ones I can think of right offhand. So, Kobe, the news reporter talks about Kobe working on his craft. Whenever you hear about people working on their craft, they're really talking about them working on witchcraft, especially in the popular areas of society like entertainment, Hollywood, movies, sports, you name those types of things. When they speak of the craft directly, it's about witchcraft. The next thing is Kobe eventually starts talking about Mary Poppins. But see, Mary Poppins was all about magic. Like she could do things that were uncanny, as in irregular. And so by doing that, she is like superhuman. And they even have a scene in the movie where children visit the zoo. But the children, when they visit the zoo, the animals are in or are outside the cages, and the people are in the cages. That's a direct flipping of how God said that people need to people have to rule over the planet. People are made to do that. They're made to rule over the planet and the animals. But in this instance, they have the animals looking at the humans like they have a higher degree of intellect than the humans do. But the humans ultimately, according to the law of the scriptures, are supposed to take care of the animals, not the other way around, because we have the higher intellect. Okay? The next video, the main thing I want people to take away from the next video is that there's a little boy who says you can tell that Kobe is into magic. By magic, he won't call it witchcraft like I will, but he definitely says from looking at the book and reading the book, you can tell Kobe's into magic. And one thing I left out is that there is another piece dealing with, oh Lord, how come I can't remember it right now? The hero's journey. Kobe talks about the hero's journey and how he wants to be more like Obi-Wan than Luke Skywalker. All that lets me know that Kobe knows about the hero's journey, as in the hero with 1,000 faces, and I'm gonna cover that book at least a little bit. I'll cover the book in like a little 10-minute video, like this one. Though this video is more like 15 minutes, but I'll cover the hero's journey, and it's interesting to hear him say that because the hero's journey also involves the hero cult that I believe Kobe knew about, Greek hero culture and the hero cult. Go look it up. That says the ultimate way for you to become immortalized and live forever is to die early. See, he wasn't concerned with living forever in the way that the scriptures put it towards people, that you're waiting for Jesus to come back and give you eternal life at the resurrection. His living forever or being immortal was to have people worship him even after he died, which he would have no recollection of. But it is what it is. But I'll come back with more ideas in future videos. But enjoy the rest of this video, and I'll be back soon. Ghost University.
Former NBA star Kobe Bryant, who learned his craft at Lower Merion High School, was known for his creativity on the court. Well, he has put another kind of creativity on display, and he was in West Philadelphia today to promote it. Action News reporter Christy Aletto has that story.
Kobe Bryant!
NBA legend Kobe Bryant was met with cheers and applause as he took to the stage at Andrew Hamilton School in West Philadelphia. He spoke to a room full of middle school students about his new book, The Wizard Series, Training Camp, which follows a basketball team as they get to know their new coach, who Bryant says he modeled after the character of Mary Poppins.
Her character and where she came from in the world. And I said, it'd be pretty cool to have a coach like that. And I thought, wait, I did have coaches like that.
One of those coaches was on stage with him, along with his high school English teacher, who regaled a story of a young Bryant being sought after for autographs following a class trip.
She almost gave me a detention for signing autographs. That's what that was. I was this close.
Bryant talked about how hard it was moving from Italy, where his dad played professional basketball, to Philadelphia during his 8th grade year.
I wore weird stuff. I had a weird haircut. I don't know what the heck was going on, right? So the hardest part for me was fitting in.
He says, like the characters in the book, he used basketball to forge relationships. Now that professional basketball is behind him, Bryant says he's focused on being a dad and teaching the next generation.
It's moving from that hero's journey to being more of a mentor, from Luke Skywalker to Obi-Wan Kenobi.
He says his message to students like the ones he met with today is to challenge your fears.
That is the most powerful message within this book, and understanding that true strength comes from your vulnerability. You don't hide from being vulnerable. That is your greatest source of strength and magic that you have within you.
Christy Aletto, Channel 6, Action News.
Students in West Philadelphia also got the surprise of the school year and some life coaching as well from hometown legend Kobe Bryant.
Eyewitness News reporter Shantae Lands is at the Andrew Hamilton School with this story.
In a quiet library on the 3rd floor of Andrew Hamilton Public School, students read aloud with Philadelphia area native and NBA great Kobe Bryant.
Probably shed a few tears and all that when I first seen him and he sat next to me.
Jaja Curry is one of 10 middle school student athletes from the intramural program Philadelphia Youth Basketball, chosen to sit with Bryant. It's part of Kobe's debut this week of his new fantasy novel called The Wizard Series, Training Camp.
The book was wonderful. It was amazing. Like, the book, you could tell that Kobe liked magic and all that.
The plot focuses on compassion and empathy through basketball. After a small group discussion, Kobe surprised 200 more student athletes from the same program. He, of course, had to shout out Philly.
We make the best basketball players. We make the best well-rounded individuals.
Bryant says he first thought of the concept for his novel 3 years ago. Writing is a secret skill his former high school English teacher in Lower Merion says dates back to the 10th grade.
I had been trying to talk him into stopping writing about basketball because he needed to think about other things. Yes, he has aspirations, but, you know, how realistic are they? And who knew?
His former basketball coach, Greg Downer, who met Kobe as a freshman, had a hunch.
His commitment to excellence was unlike any player I had ever seen.
And Kobe reached back by offering advice to students when on the court.
Like, don't watch highlights and all that. Like, watch like how they move.
Each student received a copy of the book, but they say it was Kobe's spoken words that left a lasting impression.
He's just aspiring, like, he tell you to reach your full potential.
And this book is one of 5 that'll come out in the near future, and Kobe Bryant says he hopes to write for many more years to come. In West Philadelphia, Shantae Lands, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.